Hey everyone, Ima Cooney here and welcome to my kitchen. In today's video, we're going to be making a favorite dessert of my friends and family, key lime pie. Also, very big in Florida. Please note that this recipe is made to fit a 9.5-inch baking dish. So with that in mind, go ahead and get your apron on and let's get to it. Before we start assembling anything, let's go ahead and grab our ingredients so that they'll be ready when we are. To make the graham cracker crust, you're going to need 12 to 13 graham crackers. If you prefer a thinner crust, reduce the number of graham crackers to 10. A quarter cup of sugar. Here I'm actually using raw cane sugar instead of white. And the reason being is there is still molasses present in raw cane sugar and thus is not as sweet as white. You may substitute white sugar instead of raw cane sugar if you prefer. 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter melted. You may do this in the microwave, however, I definitely recommend doing it in 15-second increments so as not to burn the butter while you melt it. For the pie filling, you'll need 28 ounces of sweetened condensed milk. A typical can is 14 ounces, so you will use 2 full cans. 3/4 cups of key lime juice, not regular limes, but key limes. If you do not have key limes in your area or they are too expensive, I do prefer the brand of Nellie and Joe's key lime juice, which can be found in the juice section of your local grocer. A 1/2 cup of light sour cream. And finally, the zest of 2 or 3 limes. Depending on how tangy you like it will determine the number of limes. My fiance and I do prefer a tangier key lime pie, so we do use all 3 limes. However, if you want it a little bit less, just go ahead and use 2. All right, so the first thing we need to get done is the actual crust of the pie. So what you're gonna wanna do is take the 13 graham crackers and break them down in your food processor. To do that, just break them into quarters and drop them in. Obviously, if you don't have a food processor as big as mine, you will need to do this in several batches. Go ahead and get the lid on. And let's go. All right, so the consistency that you're going for is to have the majority of the graham cracker ground down. It is okay if you have some little chunks in there. You can either take them out if you don't want them, or you can just leave them in. Either way is fine, it is your preference. All right, next up, you're going to want to combine the ground down graham crackers and the sugar before adding the butter. And with those two well combined, go ahead, drizzle your butter in and thoroughly incorporate that with the graham cracker and sugar. After mixing, I did feel that the crumble was still a little too dry. So I have melted down 2 more tablespoons of butter and we'll be adding that. And we'll mix that in as well just to make sure it has the proper consistency. And now it's time to actually form the pie crust. To do so, you're gonna want to pour the graham cracker crumble into the pie dish, spread it around evenly, and then pat down and up to the sides in order to cover all the sides here and the entire bottom. Okay, as you can see, I've made sure that the pie crust did go all the way up to the edge. This is so that when you fill up the key lime pie filling, it will not actually go over the edge and underneath down into this area behind the pie crust. With this set, you're gonna wanna go ahead and put this into your refrigerator for at least 30 minutes. This is going to allow the butter to set and make this a nice solid base for our key lime pie filling. It's now been 30 minutes and our pie crust has fully chilled. With that, go ahead and set your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And while it's preheating, we're gonna go ahead and make the key lime pie filling. For the filling, you're gonna wanna make sure you have the sweetened condensed milk, the light sour cream, the key lime juice, and the zest from the limes ready to go. Simply combine everything together in a bowl. And now you're going to want to just thoroughly whisk it really well. Do be careful because the key lime juice will have a tendency to want to splash out. And also be aware that this is going to be very thick. So start off a little slow just to kind of get everything incorporated. And as you go, you'll be able to whisk a little bit faster. Okay. As you can see, everything is well mixed together. You don't see any of the lime juice or any clumps of the sour cream. So go ahead, set that just to the side. Get your graham cracker crust crumb and go ahead and pour the key lime filling right in there. From here, I do like to sort of spin my pie around a bit, and this actually helps the filling to spread throughout the entire dish and not sort of hang out right there in the middle of it. Okay. And now you can see, because we have the pie crust filling all the way around the edges, none of the actual key lime pie filling is going to seep over and behind it. With that, it's now ready to go into the oven. Prior to preheating the oven, I did set the metal rack to the center location. So let's go ahead and insert the pie, and we're going to set the timer for 12 minutes. It is worth noting that while the pie itself does not actually contain any ingredients that require baking, I prefer to do so to allow the butter in the crust an opportunity to melt just a little bit to allow the filling and the pie crust to adhere better to each other. This way, when it is cooling, you won't get that gap in between the pie crust and the pie filling that can sometimes happen. All right, everyone, it has been 12 minutes and I've already pulled the pie out of the oven and shut everything down. So let's have a look. And there she is, a wonderfully set key lime pie with no leakage around the edges. Okay, we are going to let this cool completely to room temperature before putting into the refrigerator. You definitely want to make sure you do this because a hot dish going into a cold ice box could actually end up cracking the dish, and we do not want that mess to clean up afterwards. So let's go ahead and sit this on the counter. And now we wait. After our pie cooled at room temperature on the stove, I went ahead and sat it in the fridge to chill for at least 3 hours. This would give the pie filling time to completely set, so when we cut into it, it doesn't basically make a goopy mess. So let's go ahead and cut ourselves a slice and see how it tastes. Little side view. A little bit bad at cutting, but as you can see, it's nice firm sides. It's not glooping everywhere. Crust, pretty even all the way around, if I do say so myself. Okay, let's dig in. Come back here, come back here. Too big of a slice, too big of a cut. Wow. It's nice and creamy. Has a really good amount of tang to it. Now be aware, I did opt to use 3 limes for the zest. If you are going to be making this for people who enjoy key lime pie, you may want to do it to 2 unless you know they really like that nice sharp tang to it. My fiance personally loves it with 3. I actually quite like it with 3. So enjoy.